Hi, my name is Emily. I work for Deschutes County Health Services as an environmental health specialist, and since the COVID-19 pandemic has begun, I've worked as the business liaison to help businesses reduce risk in the workplace and understand the rules and requirements that have come down from the Oregon Health Authority and the governor's office. There are many ways that we can reduce risk in our businesses, and I think most people understand the basics of that. But there are some additional things that we can help do so that businesses are not impacted by having large numbers of employees either get sick and have to isolate or be asked to quarantine because they were possibly exposed to coronavirus. There are many things businesses can do to help reduce the risk of many employees getting sick in the workplace. Those include things like wearing masks, physical distancing, limiting capacity, especially in poorly ventilated areas, good hand hygiene, and disinfecting commonly touched surfaces. It's especially important to think about minimizing the number of people in poorly ventilated, close, tight situations, similar to restaurant kitchens or other small areas where people have to congregate to get their work done. One tactic we might use to limit the both financial and health impacts of the workplace would be to think about scheduling stable work groups. Are there ways that we can minimize the number of contacts or potential contacts that we have during the workday? Can we think through how to minimize that number whenever possible? For example, one tactic might be to have a work partner. In my job, I work and cross paths with the person in the section next to mine many times throughout the day. This is not a long contact, just a minute or two, but throughout the day, this adds up to certainly more than 15 minutes. If I always work next to the same coworker, Jenny, then if either of us contracts COVID-19, only the other person would be affected. We encourage both employees and employers to think through who they interact with at the workplace and try to minimize that number whenever possible. One other trend that we've seen emerge often in places of businesses is that we're often friends with our coworkers. Often, an employer will do a really good job of enforcing all the preventative measures at the workplace, but when people are off the clock, they socialize, live, or carpool together. If we go out with all my coworkers and have a party, if any of us is sick with COVID-19 and perhaps isn't aware yet, we're not showing symptoms, then all of our coworkers are affected and we would be asked to quarantine or isolate based on if we get COVID-19. Often, this causes a business to have to close because all of the employees have been exposed, even though it wasn't at the place of work. Think about how you can implement some of these strategies in your workplace to help minimize both the health and financial impacts should someone test positive for COVID-19 in your workplace. For any other COVID-related business questions, please reach out to us at deschutes.org/reopening.